Hello everyone, this video is for Module 7. So Module 7 is the first of two projects that you will complete this semester. It is going to be a concept or mood board. You don't have any new readings for this module, but you will be spending most of your week working on this project. So let me go over what it's supposed to look like and give you some ideas for it. And of course, if you have any questions at any point, you can always send me an email. So this is a little bit of a different type of project than what you might have experienced before, but there's only the one assignment in this module, giving you just a little bit of a break before the midterm, because in Module 8 is when you'll complete your first exam. And so some of you are probably trying to catch up on some of the readings and some of the other things you're doing in other classes. So that's why we only have the one project here. So your project itself is going to be what's called a concept board or a mood board. Mood board is often used for creative writing, where if you are going to write a story, you might create a mood board about your story or your novel or your character or something like that. But they're also used in literature classes often as a creative way for students to engage in the reading without having to take a test or write a paper or something like that. So those of you who are more creative learners and hands-on learners, this will appeal to you quite a bit. So this project is asking you to take something from the stories that we have read, or a concept that we have read, or something like that, something related to the literature we've looked at, and create a board to display your ideas. So the minimum criteria is to have a page, either digitally or actually physically, and it's just one page of stuff. And then you have to use at least 5 images on it, although more would be better. You have to include some text so that we know what it is that you're showing us. So like if you're doing a visual representation of a story, you would want to put the title and author of the story on there, maybe some lines from the story, so that we can see, you know, what it is that you're trying to represent. And then it goes beyond just the main focus or topic, because we're also showing the mood or concept that you're trying to portray. And so by mood, I mean, what is the emotional response that you want from the reader? So thinking about what do you, when you read this story, what is the atmosphere that you feel when you read through it? So there should be some obvious ones. So if you're doing Edgar Allan Poe, obviously there's a dark mood to most of his stories, and so you might the colors that you choose would reflect that. So the color, the visual effects, everything on there should look like it belongs together, look cohesive, but it should be on there for a reason. Now, what I don't want you to do, of course, is just to Google the Telltale Heart and then just pick images from the Telltale Heart. I want you to put some effort into creating a visual, especially of visuals that we may not associate directly with it. So, you know, Telltale Heart, there might be a heart on there, but you don't necessarily have to use a heart. You could use something else. You could use anything that helps you feel that sense of guilt that the character has, as the narrator has, as you read through the story. So there's 2 options for creating your board. Those of you who like sort of hands-on type of projects, you're more than welcome to do this physically. That is, like, get some magazines or newspapers or whatever. You could print out pictures. You could use colored paper, any kind of crafting supplies. It can be a little bit more three-dimensional. It doesn't necessarily have to be not like a diorama three-dimensional, but it could have some texture to it if you wanted to. Paint, any type of artistic license here would be fine. If you do it physically, obviously, since this is an online class, you would have to just take a picture of it and upload it. Typically, the best way to give me image files is to take a picture and then copy and paste it into a Word document and upload the document, because not all image files go to Canvas very well, so there can be some issues there. And then The other option for this assignment is to do a digital concept board. There are lots of digital mediums that you can use. I mean, you could just use a Word document if you want to. It may not be as interesting, or like a PowerPoint or publisher type slide would be fine. Anything that you can digitally add images, text, color, etc. to, you could use for this assignment. Obviously, the more creative it is and the more visually appealing it is, the better your grade will be. So I've got some stuff here linked that you can look at if you want to. So first of all, when I'm talking about a concept board or a mood board, this is kind of what I'm looking at. It's just a set of images, often kind of overlapping each other, maybe with some words. This is a good example. I don't know if you can see this very well, but this is a mood board. It's got some imagery, some words, and some just different things that inspired someone. This was one made for somebody creating their own writing. So they're doing their own short story, they're doing their own novel, but the same concept applies to an existing short story or novel. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking it will look like when you're done. So we have a series of images, a series of words, anything that kind of goes together to display visually some ideas. The other website I have is this is a blog website created by an English language arts instructor, and she has some examples using this program called Canva, which you're welcome to do. She also has her students use Google Slides. So Canva is one of those free websites that you can sign up with and create your own page, and they have a whole section of templates for mood boards too, so that can help. And then this video here kind of shows you how you might try to do that. So there's a lot of different ideas, and she's got one here. This is just an example that she had from her class using Fahrenheit 451. So it's kind of this, it's a little bit simplistic, but yours will be a little bit more complex, but that's kind of the idea behind this project. So the main issue is making sure that I can see what you've done. And so some of these websites like Canva and then the Google Slides, you should be able to download a copy of it and post the image or send me the link to what it is. And then if I have any issues with seeing it, with viewing it, you can always email me ahead of time and say, hey, I submitted this. Will you check and make sure that you can see it? Or if I go in to grade it and I can't access it, I'll put a 0 in the grade book and then send you a note that I need it resubmitted, and we'll figure out a different way to get it to me. So make sure that you save whatever it is that you've done in a way that you can access it again. Don't just do it, submit it, and then delete it, or put it in a place where it's going to be deleted. So make sure that you still have a copy of it. So that's the assignment. Like I said, project allowing for some creativity, a little bit different for some students, so that you can explore the stuff that we've been reading a little bit different, in a different way. If you have any questions at all about your topic or about how to create that mood, you're more than welcome to send me an email and I can direct you to a place where you might be inspired a little better. So hopefully you're doing well.